Was it pretty clear, as soon as he left, that that's your role that you need to figure out how to step into?
Uh, I didn't want to assume anything. I think that's really bad, just team wise. But I feel like I had to earn my role. What I have today.
And when you look back at when you first arrived on campus now, where do you think you've grown most as a player or a teammate?
I feel like I've grown tremendously in both. Uh, on off the field. Obviously, weight wise, came in 190. But I feel like just learning from D Rob on how to be a great teammate on and off the field, I feel like that's where I grew a lot.
What did you want to work on going into this camp, and how do you feel like you progressed at those things?
I feel like a main part of my weakness, football wise, in the game was my flexibility. This whole summer, I've been working on flexibility, hip flexion, shoulder flexion. I couldn't even put my hands, touch my hands behind my back at first, so I had to get flexible right there.
How do you think that's going to help you as a defensive end, especially at an ICC level?
Bending around that edge. I feel like that's one of the most important things you can be as a pass rusher, edge.
What did you learn from Eddie Kelly, Zion Young, Darius Smith? I mean, what has that defensive end room kind of been like this offseason?
Fun. Eddie Kelly's one of the funniest people I've met in my years at college. Zion and Darius, I've learned things from them. I feel like as a leader, if you don't learn things continuously, you won't be a great leader. So they've taught me little nicks and knacks here and there from their game that I'm implementing into my own.
Johnny, all the talk about leadership and everything, how do you maintain the kind of the energy level you've played with and make sure you don't cross that line and draw a flag like happened a couple times last year?
Well, that was one of them. Going back to one of those questions, I feel like that was the area I had to grow in as well. Controlling my temper and just learning there's a place for everything and just knowing the rights and wrongs and just not flaring up when I feel all the emotion in my chest.
I mean, how hard is that to kind of do in the heat of the moment in what is obviously a pretty violent game to be able to remind yourself of that?
Just be where my feet is at, just knowing what's at stake and what the end goal is.
Johnny, when you look back to the couple of days before the Cotton Bowl and that Wilderness Brotherhood message that came out of that team chapel session and Coach Drinkwitz before the game, just what do you remember about that resonating with last year's team in particular?
Well, that pregame speech was like the pregame speech of everything combined the whole season. I felt like it was everything that we went through that year and all the adversity, and that was a moment we were all waiting for. And I feel like that's what ultimately helped us win the game.
Johnny, Coach Drinkwitz and so many of your teammates have talked about the outside noise, the hype nationally, and keeping it on the outside. What is your philosophy in terms of approaching each and every week differently, that 1-0 STP mindset?
Like I said before, being where our feet is at, we can't think too far ahead. Like obviously we have a lot of challenging games this upcoming year. They're all winnable. I feel like we look too far ahead, we'll lose what's right in front of us. So just taking it a week at a time, I feel like that'll be great for us in this upcoming season.
What have you seen from young guys like Jalen Brown and Will, and what's been your advice to them during camp?
I've been in their shoes before. That's what I tell them. I know it's hard learning the playbook. Everything's going fast, pace fall camp, especially they didn't early enroll. But I just tell them if you just stay on your playbook and just play with violence, good things will come out of it. We can teach the technique and things later, but we can't coach straining and urgency.
So have you seen anything that's done well? You're like, all right, this is their foundation. We know they can do this well, and you kind of build from there.
Yeah, Jalen Brown, he's a violent defensive end. Everything he does, even the individual walkthroughs, he's striking us pretty hard. And Will, he has all the athleticism in the world. I mean, he's 6'6", 265. I mean, he's an athletic freak. So those are things we can build on with them.
You mentioned coming in at 190. Was there a moment in your freshman year where you realized, man, this isn't going to cut it, this isn't going to work yet?
I've never had a mindset like that. I feel like I always felt like just keep building, keep stacking days. It'll turn out for me. I never kind of shied away from any challenge.
Yeah, what are your personal goals outside of team success for yourself this year?
Obviously, I want a career in the NFL. That's one of my main goals. don't really like to specify too much. I feel like I'm a jinx stuff. I use the term "knock on wood" a lot, so I rather keep those kind of private. But they're pretty high, the goals I have for myself.
Johnny, I think there's a lot more people out there who probably have to lose 40 pounds than put 40 pounds on, but how do you go about, I mean, what beyond just gotta eat a lot more and I gotta go to the weight room every day?
Actually, it was pretty hard. It was pretty hard gaining all that weight, just trying to maintain and have good weight on, because didn't want to eat too much, have a gut, didn't want to feel sluggish on the field, so I had to, God got with our nutritionist Liz, found out what shakes work for me, what doesn't, what time to stop eating, the cutoff time before I go to bed, and just really chugging a bunch of shakes before I went to sleep.
Johnny, what's it like working with Coach Mizzou, and how do you feel in regards to what he asks you to do lining up on the outside? How do you feel like you're maximized as a player?
It's very detailed. He gives us things to do to maximize, like dominate your box, things like that. So I feel like he's done a good job with that.
You said your goal is to play in the NFL one day. Why is Mizzou such a great place for players to come if they want to eventually have that goal right now?
I feel like this is a pro-ready program. Every dude who left this past year, JC, Hop, Ennis, they all came back and told Coach Drink, like, your schedule is exactly how we practice in the NFL. So I feel like that's one of the main reasons why, right there.
One more for Johnny. Johnny mentioned Darius a few times. Just how important has he been to the progression of your career?
Darius is one of my best friends. I always wondered, coming in as a freshman, why is he helping me? Like I barely know him. He's just always there, just being nice, taking me places I needed to go when I was a freshman. But just learning from him and learning his character, he's a great leader and a great man. So everything I could take from him, I took.
There's a lot of talk about how the captains are mentors to the younger guys, but how have you guys as a captain group work together and come up with similar goals, and how do you guys expect to continue working together strongly throughout the season?
We're all really good friends, so any issues that arise, we can all come together and talk about it within each other and Coach Drink, and we'll ultimately reiterate the message to the team. So I feel like just doing that will help us tremendously. No problem. Thank y'all.